All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about that.
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so.
Yes. It is. What's the time? I'm going to exaggerate. It's 5:18 a.m. on the 19th of August. This is the King's Court. This is your guy, Obasogi. You got Mardy in the cut. APL is asleep. Couldn't make the early morning call. We had to get this one out. Obviously, hyped UFC 278, Salt Lake City. Usman, the Nigerian nightmare, heading off welterweight, UFC welterweight championship of the world versus Britain, Jamaica's own Leon Edwards.
Come on, Rocky,
mate, gassed.
Absolutely gassed.
Oh,
like this is a big one.
This has been a long time coming for Rocky. What, 7 years since their first fight, where, let's be honest, he got absolutely ragdolled by a wrestling heavy Nigerian nightmare. It's gonna be techie. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we are the three kings on my allegiance. I don't want to get to the spoilers, but let's just talk about what we've seen in the preparation so far and how we think the mentality of both fighters is.
Do you know what? It's obviously, we won't talk about the allegiances yet, because for me, I'm really torn on this one. I'm really torn because I love both of these guys, but watching the preparation, I think the mindset of both of these guys is top notch. It's absolutely top notch. Usman, obviously, he's been here before. He's done it before. Pound for pound king. He's worked with the best. He's beaten the best. And yeah, he's ready for it. He's ready for it. Obviously, he's coming off that hand injury that delayed him, a few more months. But Leon as well, watching his preparation, Leon's wanted this fight for time. Well, I think since after he beat Vicente Luque, he's wanted this fight. He's been calling Usman out, and he believes he's got the skills now. He believes he's got the wrestling knowledge and know-how to stuff those takedowns. And for me, he's a complete fighter. For me, Usman's a complete fighter as well, but Leon is a complete fighter also. And it's going to be a tough one to call, but it'll be an exciting matchup, that's for sure. That is for sure.
I think me, I'm foreseeing a chess match. Definitely. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to lie, my allegiances are still very one way, as much as I like Leon. I think, what is this? Will this be his 7th title defense? Is it 6 or 7 for Usman? That's what I mean. It's up there.
Yeah.
It's either 6 or 7.
Might be right, because he's done Covington twice.
Yeah.
He's done Masvidal twice. He's done Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
And one more.
Won the belt from Woodley. Was it Woodley he beat for the belt?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he'll get a gem for that. So maybe it's.
Are we missing anyone?
I think that might be it.
Yeah.
But I think that might be it. Then have a quick look. No, I think that's it. So it'll be his 6th.
This is number 6 defense.
6th defense, 7th gem.
7th gem. I mean, yeah. Usman's got the hands now. He ragdolled him with the wrestling. He's ragdolled Kobe. He's taken Kobe down, who is, up there in terms of wrestling level. He did the same with Masvidal, who's hard to take down. He absolutely bodied Gilbert Burns. I'm just like, I know Leon has been, obviously Leon's focus has just been Usman, where Usman's been having to fight different opponents. But I just think, again, when you've got Trevor Whitman and you've got Mr. Game Plan himself in your corner, and you've got those hands, and then you've got the reliance on the wrestling, and you've got the tape. He hasn't been taken down yet, isn't it? In the 90s, like it's ridiculous. Like, Usman hasn't been taken down. So I'm just like, I just think when we talk about complete fighter, where's the gaps? Where's the gaps? I mean, Leon's sweet with it on the feet, and obviously we know about his jiu-jitsu, but is his wrestling really up there where it can counter what Usman's going to take in terms of the power and so on? Leon, I think he's playing a game. He's saying, "Oh, you think it's going to be a wrestling match?" I don't think so. I think the first 3 rounds, I think he won't shoot at all. I think he's going to be on the feet. I think if it gets to the championship rounds, then the wrestling will come out to really kind of empty out Leon's gas tank. But you know, it depends on. Also, interested to see what Leon's game plan will be because there's got to be a game plan. Is he going to keep it long? Is he just going to try and keep it on his feet? Is he going to try and mix it up? Is he going to be faking the takedowns? I genuinely think it's going to be a kickboxing stroke punching match for the first 3 rounds potentially. But then that for me, yes, Leon is clean with it. I still give the power advantage to Usman. That doesn't work in Leon's favor because if Usman lands jab, remember he's floored people with jabs now. He's floored Gilbert with jabs. You know. So we used to be clean with it with the jab, let alone the Masvidal right hook.
That's it.
And the setups that he's got now.
And Burns is his boy as well.
So I want it to be competitive, and I hope it's a really good fight because Leon deserves a good fight. He doesn't deserve after all this weight, and we've already covered that he must be the most unluckiest fighter in UFC history in terms of his journey to get to where he's going to get to on the weekend. But yeah, I'm curious to know what Leon's game plan will be, and if you know they've come up with something left field to surprise Usman, i.e. like what Amanda did with Pena coming out southpaw. You know, I think it's going to take something like that to kind of offsettle Usman for a little bit at least and make it interesting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think that's really maybe out already southpaw, but yeah, it's in the same thing, changing stance. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Obviously, Leon's got the elbows, and you don't really see. You know, I can't recall. You know, Usman with that kind of game. So maybe he's gonna fake the jabs and go into like his elbows, the slicing elbows that he's got are absolute, maybe the best in the game. Yeah. Honestly, when he starts, look at the mess before. Let's forget the last 30 seconds. The smackdown he put on Nate Diaz, schooled him. Absolute schooled him.
People forget. People just remember that last 30 seconds, even that last 20 seconds. I'm sorry, it was the shot. He wasn't there to be hit for all of that fight, and it was a masterclass, an absolute masterclass. I watched it back the other day. I'm sorry, he put a beating on him.
The only thing that I'm a little bit hesitant on is he put such a beating on him. Why didn't he finish him? Why did he let it get that far? So where's that killer instinct? Because Usman, we know he's a killer. We know once he smells blood, he's patient with it, but he's taking you down. Leon had, and that's why he almost lost this opportunity because everyone was like, oh, everyone was just gassing about the last 30 seconds, like Nate had somehow won it because he made him do the chicken dance. That's not how MMA or fighting works, people. But that's what's fresh in everyone's memory. And like you said, go back and watch the match, the whole fight, and you realize, oh damn, he put Nate Diaz in a mess that no one else has ever put him in before. But he should have taken him out.
Well, that's the thing, and I was thinking the same thing. But actually, when you look back in terms of Nate, nobody finishes Nate. That Masvidal one, it was a doctor stoppage because he was just bloodied up. Nate was still ready to go and fight. Conor McGregor couldn't finish Nate. Masvidal, who finishes everyone, it was a doctor stoppage. So that's the only caveat, I think. But actually, looking at Leon's fights, I think earlier on in his career he was finishing guys. He was completely finishing guys, and it's only of late because of the unlucky things that have happened with Bilal Muhammad.
And again, even Bilal, he was piecing him up.
Yeah. It's true.
He was being clean with it. He was piecing Bilal up to the eye poke, and that wasn't the first eye poke. Unfortunately, when you go back and watch the fight again, you're like, oh, actually, there were a couple.
Yeah.
So he did have enough warnings.
It's true. That is very true. And I think for me, I just think it's going to be a game of how far actually has Usman got, because I think stand-up wise, I think in the welterweight division, I think Leon is the best stand-up. He has the best stand-up for me. He does in terms of
clean with it. He's clean. The techniques, the looks he's got, very good, and he's complete on the ground, on his feet in terms of like I said, the elbows, the knees, the kicks, the punching, everything's clean. But I have to give the power to Usman. Usman's now the more powerful one on the feet. So it's like, how long do you want to play in that realm where Leon can accumulatively on his feet, if it was a points game, maybe outpoint him. But then all Usman has to do is, I'm losing control of this on the feet. I'm taking you down. I'm going to ragdoll you now. So then it's how good is your takedown game? And how dangerous can you be in terms of setting those traps where if Usman's diving in, can you literally get submissions before he even gets you down to the mat? So how fast can you be at adjusting where he's got me, he's got the double leg, what can I do? What jiu-jitsu skills can I do to, before I get down to the mat, put him in a compromising position?
That is true. That is very true. Ooh, I mean, I love this matchup. I love it. Trevor Whitman was talking about on the Embedded show. He's talking about he loves watching Rocky. He loves watching Leon. You know, he's a fan of his fighting style. And I think when that respect comes into it, the Trevor Whitman camp is not going to play around. I think we're going to see the best Leon that we've ever seen. I really believe it'll be competitive, and I think it'll be just as competitive as the Colby fights. I really do.
Wow.
Okay. I really do. Unless Usman just puts the stake in the ground and completely clears himself as the pound for pound. Because there's still some debate. People still arguing. For me, he's the pound for pound. But,
yeah, same.
You know, and I think that's what he needs to do because, you know, Leon is not going to go away unless he puts him out. He can, you know, Usman can win. Usman's got that ability, obviously, to put him out. But Usman can also win 5 rounds. But I'm just excited. And for me, I've every time, you know, I think you posted like that meme in terms of like being nervous in fights and stuff like that. And you said, oh, still the Usman, that's it. I will be also, but for me, if Leon wins, not that I wouldn't care because Nigerian they carry last, but if Leon wins, you know, I don't think I'll be sad because he's the guy. This is an enticing fight, and yeah, must watch.
100% agree with you. Can't lie. Team Usman all the way. Want Leon to have put on a great showing. Deserves it. But yeah, excited. And let's be honest, if Usman were to lose, then we've got a trilogy. Then that's a straight instant rematch. You don't do what Usman's done, lose the belt and then start again. You get your rematch straight away, just like Lioness did. So yes, that would be interesting. That would be fun. Plus, obviously, that would go to Vegas because Salt Lake City isn't, you know, isn't the most sexy location in terms of the razzmatazz. But yeah, I've got to pick the Nigerian Nightmare, man. I can't go against him. I can't. But yeah, good luck to you, Leon. Obviously, representing as well. We're split, but I'm not so split.
So the Usman dynasty is arrived, obviously, in the UFC. But predictions, then. If we want to give predictions, what you saying?
I'm so torn. I can see it, and I know it's the easy way out, but I can see it either being really quick and Usman coming out and just blowing him away, take down, come back up, finish, and then just smack big statement win, just to be like, how can you doubt me? How can you put Volk at number 1? Kind of because Volk's apparently number 1 now, pound for pound.
Volk number 1.
Yes.
I need to do my
so
research.
I think he could come out with a little statement there and try and blow him out in the first 2 rounds just to go, how dare you? Or it's going to be a 5-round competitive war, but I still see Usman coming out with it because I think the difference will be the wrestling. And when he needs that, whether that's Leon's winning on the ground or his right hand isn't actually that healed and he connects once and then realizes, ouch, that hurts, I need to wrestle, then I could see it being a close but more competitive repeat of the first fight. But in like different stages and chapters to get to the ragdoll and the takedowns, like I said, that will all be better placed in the 4th and 5th rounds as opposed to gassing yourself out and using it in the first 3.
Yeah, Usman. I think if I was going to put money on it, if I was a betting man, I would have to put it for Usman. I don't see it being an early finish, and I also can see in my head a scenario where Leon wins. But yeah, I think I've got to back my boy. I've got to back my boy Usman. But Leon, all the best. Love And hey, may the best man win. That's all I can say.
Sure. That's it. That's all we can say. Looking forward to that headliner. And then yes, we got the co-main, which is starting to simmer up, starting to cook. There's there's been some media trials between Costa and Rockhold back, trying to get back on the championship train. Costa, what does somebody, I'm trying to pick one of Izzy's superlatives about him because he's had so many. Was it the beefed up, juiced up Ricky Martin?
Living la vida loca.
Yeah, Rockhold, man. I don't know if you heard those statements where, wow, he went in against basically his employer. He went in like one of the first fighters I've heard fully vocalize the fighter pay issue. He went in on Dana, said like the people who bought the corporation don't have a clue. They've just given Dana all this power. It was better in the old days. How the bonuses haven't inflated. The bonuses are still the same bonuses that they were getting paid back when they were in the red, not making money. Now they're making money. The bonus structure hasn't changed. He went in. Like Rockhold, yes.
Rockhold has been on smoke.
Honestly. So I was just like, oh my, and usually you hear that talk from the retired fighters who, obviously there's still that lawsuit pending in the background. You never hear it from an active fighter because you don't speak against the hand that feeds you, apart from, obviously the Francis Ngannou situation is unique as well. But Rockhold was it, and Rockhold was very articulate with it, and for me just spoke facts. But yeah, obviously, making it interesting. It's almost a similar narrative now being set up by the masses. I'm not saying it's true, where obviously we've got Nate Diaz fighting Hamzat, and people almost saying, oh, the UFC are feeding him to Hamzat to get absolutely finished. And people are starting to say the same about, oh, Rockhold. Now the way he's talking, the UFC want Costa to take him out, try and finish him off. Rockhold looks good though, but I've seen him in training, watching his kicks. I forgot how good his kicks are. His kicks are powerful. I forgot how good Rockhold was. I've been watching a few of his fights, and I was like, in his prime, Rockhold was the guy. Last Strike Force champion, came in, won was the champion here. But then Michael Bisping slyly threw him under the bus. He was talking about Rockhold before. He said, "Oh, he looks good, but." I probably shouldn't say this. Why did you say it then? But I'm obviously friends with Jason Perello, and he's like, yeah, he's not consistent with it. He takes a lot of days off. He's not in the gym as much as he should be. I was like, oh my gosh, why would you put this out there?
I'm like, Mike.
He said,
he doesn't give it AF.
I don't mean to break the circle of trust, but I'm going to tell you anyway. And I was just like, oh my goodness. So hearing that concerned me, because you don't want to hear it like that, that kind of narrative going into a week before a fight. And I don't know why Bisping would put that out there on his podcast. I thought that was a little bit cheeky. But yeah, Costa as well looks lean, still muscly. Never seen him look so lean. Looks like he's on weight. Said he's the lightest he's ever come. He looks it, to be honest. So yeah, you're going to have, I think that's going to be a fight.
Yeah, and I'm excited for it. Obviously, it's one that was supposed to happen earlier on in the year. It got postponed for some reason, some injuries or whatever. Both of these guys are coming off losses. Costa coming off a two-fight losing streak, obviously to Izzy, which was a horrible loss, and then to Vittori, which he didn't show up to Vittori. I'm sorry, that Costa that came, and as you were saying, just the way that he looked, it was not the same. Now Costa, he looks serious. He looks more lean. I think he's changed. I think he's changed some of the training that he's doing. He's back over in Brazil and training.
He looks light with it on his feet, because Costa for me used to always be like, for me anyway, perception was like he was always heavy footed. Everything was reliant on power. I'm seeing him like dancing and like shaking his hips in training. I'm like, whoa, okay, that Brazilian samba, that's what you needed.
That's it. It's that Latino coming out, and then it's that Ricky Martin that's coming in. That's it.
He's embracing it.
That's it. And with Rockhold as well, this was like a change. Rockhold has come off some losses. He moved up. He got KO'd. And this is his first fight in like 3 years. For both of them, this is a must-win fight. But again, Rockhold, he comes out and saying that he wasn't ready. He wasn't treating his body right. He was nursing injuries, but also trying to train at the same time. And yeah, the Bisping thing, I didn't hear. I've not listened to that podcast. But hey, Bisping and Rockhold, apparently they're supposed to be the quash the beef now. But Bisping, he's not his friend, is he? So, and I like him for that. But it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be interesting. It's who has actually overcome, again, the mental aspect of it and the physical aspect. Because mental aspect is very important, because that Costa Vittori fight, for me, I'd expecting that to be an absolute barnstormer. And it was good, but Costa didn't bring it. Because if Costa brought it, Costa would have beaten Vittori. I'm confident about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, as you said, Rockhold, last middleweight Strikeforce champion. He beat Weidman, finished Weidman, But then ever since he lost to Bisping, and even he's actually going into that Bisping fight because he knows he's beaten him before, he wasn't serious at all. You could tell he was just taking the mitt, hands down. Don't listen to UFC. Don't play like that here. And if he's not corrected his mental toughness, Costa's going to win. But at the same time, if Costa's not, Rockhold's going to win. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
I'm seeing still in the eyes and the voice of Rockhold. He's talking a good game. He looks up for it. He looks angry at the world. So for me, and I'm always anti-establishment anyway. As much as I love the UFC, hearing Rockhold talk, I'm like, yeah, the world want you. He could be based off, if everybody sees that before the fight, he could be getting like ridiculously cheered walking into that arena, like, because it's facts. As much as we want to see the UFC, it's been a discussion point for so long now. Everybody also wants to see these fighters fairly compensated. Amount of money that's making. You think of sports like the NBA and even football and all the rest of it. You don't hear anyone complaining about pay. Everyone is getting a nice piece of the pie. The fact that the UFC has grown substantially and the piece of the pie for the fighters has always stayed the same, bar your 3 or 4 superstars per generation who are on the millions and everyone else is, not, then yeah, it's not fair. But we could have another episode on that. We'll focus on that. For me, I'm Team Rockhold. I've never been a big fan of Costa, and I'm going to blame that on Izzy, the way Izzy was ripping him apart on the mic. So, yeah. Although, like I said, Costa looks great. Looks fantastic, in fact. So I'm expecting a good fight. Really good fight. And I think, look, Rockhold, age 37 now, it's definitely last chance saloon for him. Last spin of the wheel. Yeah, I'm going with the old man. I want him to old man Costa with a game plan that just gets him over the line.
Yeah, fair dues. For me, I'm on the opposite side. I don't believe Rockhold. I don't believe him. I really don't. He's come out serious. He has come out serious. Don't believe it. Costa, I think there's a difference, and just a physical difference. That's something that's tangible. And I see Costa coming in, being serious, putting the wine glass down, coming in, and I think see him doing the job. But I think hopefully this could be a title fight if both of them reach their pinnacle and reach the hype that was around them. Well, obviously Rockhold's been there, done that sort of thing, but if Costa did the same, it could be a title fight. I'm going for Costa. I'm going for Costa finish as well. Because that Rockhold chin is being tested too many times.
To be honest, yeah, that's a good point. And if Costa does win, it's going to be a knockout. It's going to be filthy as well. Let's be honest. And oh gosh, don't start doubting me. I'm seeing flashbacks of Rockhold's chin breaking multiple times. Now I'm sticking with it, but I'm scared now. I'm not going to lie. I forgot Costa's a beast, and Rockhold has been knocked out a lot, and big KOs as well. Romero's just coming to mind. I'm getting flashbacks. Oh gosh.
Yeah. And was it Jan? I'm sure when he went up to middle light heavyweight.
He's been slept. I'm going based on his mic work. So hey. And the fact that he did look his kicks in the training did look dirty. I was like, oh, I forgot about his kicks. But yeah. It's one of those ones I'm on the fence. I'm just going with my heart as opposed to my mind. My heart saying Rockhold, but my mind going, of course Costa's got this. He's in shape at last. So I'm going 50-50.
It's 50-50 mixed meal, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, going off Mike School's fair dues. There's a lyric from a band called Gym Class Heroes back in the day, and Travis McCoy says, "If you could trade food for mic skills, you'd be eating lovely." I'm sorry, Rockhold. This ain't no rap game. Yeah, this is.
Like I said, I'm seeing a steel in his eye, in his voice. I think he's angry. I know he's had personal issues which he's spoken about, and some demons and stuff as well. And I'm like, if you could speak about that and be open about that, you're gonna literally take out everything you've been through personally, and all your issues with the UFC on Costa. So if he can channel that, then I think he could be unstoppable. But like you said, if he's just talking a big mic game, I'll be fuming in the review of the event and be going, yeah, I got sold a dream there. But I'm going to stick with it. I like to be committed. No 50-50. Rockhold, do this for everything you've been through and everything you want to fight against. And you want a voice against Fight and Pay. You can't have a voice off a loss because they might just shut you out. So you need to keep on winning, bro. So
Very true. Nice.
Come on, Luke.
Nice.
Right, last one. So we got Merab versus Aldo.
That's it. Bantamweight. The bantamweight division, for me, I've said this before, forget about the lightweight division, the lightweight division. Bantamweight division, for me, is the most stacked. It's the most exciting.
Fun.
It's top fights happening. Top.
It's fun. It is fun. I can't, oh man. I just want Aldo to have one more. I don't like the way people disrespect Aldo. I know we always go back to what Conor did to him and up to that point, but the guy is a GOAT. The guy should always be in one of the greatest of all time lists, top 10, no matter what. And he's been around for so long, and the fact that he's still doing it at the age he is at this level, again, he's trying to make a run for that last for the bag, for the belt one more time. I love Aldo, man. I don't care who he's fighting. I'm always team Aldo. I love him.
He's a legend. He's a legend. And yeah, as you said in the words of Skepta, he's doing it again. He's trying to stop him, but he's doing it again.
Father Time, is it time? Because you can't beat Father Time, and he's looking good, but I think he's coming off a three fight win streak after going on a bit of a skid, which is great. So that's obviously showing that he's turned the clock now. He's turned the corner and he's got that momentum in his favor. But have to talk about Merab as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. And Merab, he's no joke. Merab is no joke. For me, I still think, as a whole, I still think Aldo is the more complete fighter, the better fighter. He's the better fighter. And when you talk about the tops in the bantamweight divisions at the moment in time, obviously Aldo is the bantamweight king. You talk about TJ, you talk about Yan, Peter Yan, but you talk about Chito Vera coming off that absolutely sick finish of Dominic Cruz last weekend.
Oh, don't get me started.
It was horrible. But the last person to beat Chito was Jose Aldo. He stopped that hype train. He stopped it. And I think they're talking about it might be a potential number one contenders fight, the winner of Aldo Merab maybe versus Chito, and that person will get the winner of Aldo TJ. So it's very interesting up there, Merab, he has had some good wins in the bantamweight division, but again, he's no joke. He's got power. He's got power in his fist. He's got good leg kicks. I don't know. I just don't see him beating Aldo, because Merab has been here as well. But he's been here for a while. But I think Aldo will have too much for him. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah, I haven't seen much focus on this fight in the build-up, to be honest. It's been all about the main and the co-main. But yeah, I know Aldo is mentally just always there, focused. I think he's on a mission. I think the fight last weekend, I think that would make complete sense after that absolute that finish and everything that happened with Chito. This would be a nice setup for a number one contender fight. It just makes sense, and I think that should motivate both fighters to be like, okay, we're close now. We just have to put on a show here, put on a performance, and That's it. Win against Cheeto makes complete sense. Like I've already shared, I'm Aldo. It's like I'm just like,
Yeah.
just that is it. Also, I just remembered, obviously the co-main. Just gone back to that. The fact that it's 3 rounds is definitely in Paulo's favour as well, because he won't gas out. But yeah, Team Aldo in this one for sure.
Aldo. And I just need to correct myself because I've just checked. Actually, Merab, he's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fight win streak. Maybe Merab, I'm getting confused here. I'm getting you confused, and I apologize. But the last fight he had was 2020, September last year, to Marlon Moraes. Again, Marlon Moraes. It's Marlon Moraes that I'm getting mixed up with here. Apologies. But yeah, he's beaten some good guys. I don't think he's faced anyone like
Aldo.
Outstanding in the top 10 at the moment in time. He's beaten Marlon, obviously, apart from him. John Dodson, who used to be flyweight and then obviously went up to bantamweight. Casey Kenny. It could be a good one, but I'm still the betting man. Aldo. My money's on Aldo.
Cool. So the only place we're not floating is the co-main. And one of us is being swayed by the mic and the other one isn't. So, mate, what code? You got a lot to answer for. You better represent for me, yeah?
That's it.
But yeah, that is it. That's pretty much our wrap up. UFC 278, super gassed, Nigerian nightmare.
That's it.
Not last, but fast. It's early. Yeah. We know go to carry breakfast.
He's gonna eat.
Oh, but yeah, we're looking for a show. Yeah, and all the best, Leon. All the best to all the fighters.
Just a really quick one as well. On the same weekend, I just want to shout out to the PFL. I think it's the second time they come to the UK. I think last weekend or the weekend before they were in Wales. In London, there's a few UK fighters that want to give a shout out to South and North Bay. So I think they've opened up their flyweight division. So a girl called Dakota Decheva, unbeaten. She's got a 5-0 professional record. She's come from a kickboxing family. Her mum was a kickboxing world champion. She's fighting our Manchester top team. All the best to her. Brendan Lenane, again, household name in Manchester. He's fighting in the semi-finals, I think, of the PFL League. Again, it's weird, PFL. We'll do some more PFL stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So he's fighting, all best to him. And Smooth Simeon Powell, London boy, light heavyweight. This guy's dangerous. Finishes his fights. I think there's only one fight out of maybe like these 6 that he's had that he's not finished, but all of them being KOs. And obviously headlining is Kayla Harrison. And again, that might be what's next for Amanda in the future. But yeah, shout out to those guys.
Massive, yeah. And we need to start covering some PFL for sure. So all the best to everyone representing PFL this weekend as well. Might try and watch that for sure. Hey, with this, and we got AJ Usyk. Flipping heck, what a weekend.
What are you thinking? Quickly, what are you thinking? I'm not a boxing man, but I know you are.
Mine split. Heart, obviously, with Team AJ, Team Niger, but mine completely 100% with Usyk because he scored him so well the first time round. Like, I don't really see much changing, but it's all going to be about AJ's aggression and what he takes to the table. But I think that's predictable, and Usyk's his footwork is unbelievable. I just think, I've got to go with Usyk. But if AJ can do it, then it's got to be a clean, dirty knockout. And the thing is, touching Usyk with his footwork cleanly, as proven last time, very difficult. So maybe a bit of dirty boxing, maybe a lot of clinching might help him, but you still got to catch the man to do that. So yeah.
You heard it here. Exciting weekend.
Great weekend. So yeah, we'll try and come back and join you all, maybe not so early in the morning, to do a wrap up very soon. But yeah, hope you all enjoy UFC 278. Come on, Usman.
You're a nightmare. Yes.
Miss you, APL. It's your guy, Obasogi.
Boy, Mardi.
Rolling out. Peace.
Peace.
We've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about that.
Left hook from Yaounde came and landed on him, you know, so